President Trump signing a brand new stretch of border wall in San Diego, California.
Using a Sharpie, the president autographing that slab of the wall. He's been promising to build the wall ever since his 2016 campaign.
This particular section of the wall stretches 14 miles. It is designed to retain heat, to keep people from climbing it. And as you can see right there, it is literally his signature issue.
And our own Ed Henry had a chance to talk to the president one-on-one right next to that wall with the news of the day as well.
Our chief national correspondent, Ed Henry, joins us now with more. Hey, Ed, what are some of the highlights that you learned yesterday after talking to him?
It was fantastic. I walked up to interview the president sort of right after he had signed it. He had all these Border Patrol agents around, and he sort of spied me in the corner of his eye and said, "What's Ed Henry doing here?" "Oh, yeah, we're going to do an interview. Get over here. Come on, let's talk." And he went right at it. It had been a long day. He was probably tired from, between jet lag and the fundraising he was doing, meeting with the Border Patrol folks. But he got fired up when we started talking, and here's why. We've had Democrats on the show saying the president is not telling the truth. That's what they claim when he says and boasts that there's new wall being built. I'm here to say the president is right, and they are wrong. And that's not an opinion. That's my reporting with my own two eyes. I was there. There is, in fact, miles and miles of new wall being built, and it's working, number one. We also, we're going to show you that. Number two, the president talked about Iran, that he wants peace, not war. And when it comes to those Fed rate cuts, if you're the chairman of the Fed waking up watching this, you may want to pour another cup of coffee. Watch. Let's start with some breaking news from the Fed today. You were pretty upset that they only cut it 1/4 of a percentage point, and you said that Chairman Powell has no guts. Why?
Well, I think we should do more because other countries have done more. If you look at Germany, if you look at Japan, if you look at so many others, they're cutting much more. In fact, they're borrowing money and getting paid to borrow money, and we're paying interest. And we're the most prime in the world. We have this great economy. We're doing better than we've ever done. Our employment numbers are the best they've ever been, and unemployment numbers also. We are doing great, but we should be cutting. There's no inflation.
So you're worried he's putting sort of a wet blanket ahead of 2020?
I think what he does is, I don't think he knows how to play the game very well. They've raised too fast, and I've been saying this openly, and they've lowered too slow. And he took 25. Some people were hoping for 50. He did 25. But the fact is, when Germany gets paid to loan money, I mean, they're borrowing money. So they're borrowing, think of it. They borrow money, and when it comes time to pay back, people pay them.
Right.
And we can't participate in that, and it's because of the Fed. So I'm not thrilled with the Fed, but despite that, we have an incredible economy, and we don't have inflation.
And Chairman Powell's job is safe?
It's safe, yeah, it's safe. I mean, sure, why not?
You paused.
No, I don't pause. I mean, he's got a job, and, I'm disappointed in him. I'm very disappointed in him. I think he raised far too fast. He also did quantitative tightening, which was not a good thing to do, but it's all right. And look, we have a great economy, and that's not going to make the difference. But it would have given us an edge, and instead somebody else has an edge. But they're so far behind us, it can't catch us.
On Iran, you announced tough new sanctions today. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that you are behind the scenes trying to work the diplomatic angles at the UN and have something short of actually war. But why did you tweet "locked and loaded" if you don't want to go to war?
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, you may have some very strong hit. We're the strongest military in the world by far. When I came in, we were depleted. Now we're very powerful. We have new planes, new missiles, new everything, every form of equipment. We're building many new ships, as you know, new submarines. We're doing things that we haven't done in many, many years. I came in, we were depleted. I told you yesterday they were very low on ammunition, and I'm being nice when I say that. And I said that should never happen to another president. No, we'll see what happens. A lot of things could happen. If we can have a peaceful solution, that's good. It's possible that won't happen. But there's never been a stronger country militarily, not even close.
Let's talk about what's behind you, because I've interviewed various Democrats on the show, and they'll tell me this is a fantasy. There's no new wall being built. They've said that.
Well, this was not here 2 weeks ago. So this is all brand new wall. This goes miles up the mountain over here. This goes, I mean, you're seeing it. This goes miles down in this direction.
They said about 14 miles so far.
And we're building, we have,
just here.
Well, in this section is 14, but we're building many that are 50 and 40 and 17 and different areas. We're building on many different sites. all up and down along the border, and they get hooked in. Different contractors bid it out. This would be far too much for one contractor to build, but you see the length of this.
Absolutely.
So that's just a
But also you have
Democrat
two levels here
talking point.
because you've got 18 feet over there.
Well, this is Tijuana, and it's been a very, very tough section. A lot of people, thousands of people are over there trying to get into our country. They can't get in. But Tijuana, we have a double wall. That's a 18-foot wall.
Right.
That's the border. And then if they get over here, they can't get up this wall.
I interviewed some Border Patrol agents. They say sometimes dozens can get over with ladders, but none have gotten over the 30 feet.
Nobody. And we had mountain climbers. We had, in a couple of cases, championship mountain climbers, and we tested various walls. You have to have the see-through ability, otherwise you don't know who's on the other side. They were unable to get over this wall.
One Border Patrol agent told me no president has brought this kind of attention or resources so that now I can do my job. That's what he told me.
Well, we're making their job a lot safer, too. And you know what else is happening? People aren't even coming up. You see the numbers are going way down, and we're not doing a catch and release anymore. And we wish we had help from the Democrats in Congress, but they want open borders. They don't want this. They want criminals to come in. They want human traffickers.
But what about Republicans in Congress, sir? Because you had 2 years.
I know, but
at the beginning.
I know, but the problem is I didn't have the votes because in the Senate we needed 60 votes, and we only had, as you know, we were 9 votes short. So we had 51. Now we then had a good election.
But you
and we
regret that
2 more.
Republicans who were in power in the House and Senate didn't push it harder.
Well, there's
because you could have gotten more of
but
this.
Here's the problem. In the House we had no problem. We'd get it approved, right? But in the Senate, we had 51 votes and we needed 60. So that means we needed 9 or 10 Democrat votes, and they wouldn't give us any. We had no Democrats. So just, you know, it's a total misnomer. We had a very tiny majority, and we needed 9 to 10 votes.
Yeah.
And if we didn't get them, and we couldn't get them, we had the Republican votes, but we didn't have any Democrat votes. So they wouldn't give us the votes.
Ed?
Yeah, it's interesting because when he was talking about those 2 walls, so you saw the 30-foot wall behind him, across the way about 50 yards, closer to Tijuana, Mexico, is that 18-foot wall. And I was told by some Border Patrol agents, on some days, you'll get 100 to 200 people get ladders long enough to get over the 18 feet. But I was told that zero, absolutely zero, have then made it over the 30-foot wall that's right there behind the president. That tells you that this is actually working. It's a success that the president's critics don't want to talk about.
Right. And the other thing is, I mean, for people to say there was a wall there, this is just better, what do you tell them?
I tell them that this is the beginning of building what the president was talking about, dozens and dozens more miles that are actually going to keep illegal immigrants out. The president pointed out the numbers are down. It's been 20% in the last 3 months. Each month, 20% down in terms of illegal border crossings. By the way, next hour, president talks about gun control, makes news on that, talks about 2020 and who he wants to face. We got a whole lot more. I'll be back.
All right. Great job. Excellent. Thanks so much, Ed.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.